What's going on, guys? Wow, welcome back to another Destiny video. Now today I got an Iron Banner tips and tricks video. These tips and tricks will help you become the strongest in the universe. You guys wanted to see and find out how I became the best in the universe. Well, I followed these steps right here. Step number 1, you're gonna want to be Goku. Step number 2, you're gonna want to use Gjallarhorns for all 3 of your slots. Step number 3, you're gonna want to have unlimited heavy ammo. That's basically how you do it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. I realize some of that is impossible for you guys to do, so you guys can't quite become the strongest in the universe, so let's go ahead and try to become the strongest on the earth. So basically these are some Iron Banner tips and tricks that I used when I was still crawling. So basically, as I was growing up as a kindergarten, as many of you may be, I was a little wick, as I might say, and these tips and tricks helped me become the strong, powerful man I am today. So basically, let's get right into this. Alright guys, so these are just some helpful tips to keep you alive and help you win in the Iron Banner. Tip number 1, I don't know why I'm sounding Australian, but I love getting into character. Make sure you have your best gear with you. If you aren't at least level 29, you're going to have a hard time, aka you're gonna get your butt smacked really hard and it's going to hurt. Also, don't go in alone. You do not want to get wrecked by yourself. If possible, go ahead and bring at least 4 people with you so you guys can have a somewhat of coordination. That's going to be key. Call outs, having each other's backs increases your chances of winning by 35%. Yes, I actually did the math. So in short, to ensure victory, come in with at least level 30 with at least 4 people in your fire team and have each other's backs, give out call outs and stuff like that. That ends it for this part of the video. Now let's go over to what type of weapons you should bring into the Iron Banner. Why do I sound like that? Anyways, so let's talk about the weapons. What kind of weapons should you bring? Well, for starters, we can sit here all day talking about the billion types of customization options and loadouts you can bring to the Iron Banner. But today, we're gonna keep it in 3 simple types of categories. What should you bring for your primary, your secondary, and your heavy? Now, for me, I decided to leave auto rifles out of it. 1, because there is no longer a need to bring auto rifles, because before, auto rifles were used to get that bounty, get auto rifle headshots. Now, it can be any primary headshot. Now, we also received a recent buff in pulse rifles. So, I'm saying you should bring either a hand cannon or a pulse rifle. Some of the weapons I'm going to recommend are the Hawk Moon, the Last Word, the Thorn, and then for pulse rifles, Red Death, obviously, Oversoul Edict, and possibly, quite possibly, Pradieth's Timepiece. Yes, even though that is a 300 attack power weapon, I would recommend you bring that, and maybe Fatebringer. Fatebringer is very useful, but for this, you might not have the right type of skill depending on who you are, because the Fatebringer is 300 and you're going to be facing people who are level 32 trying their absolute hardest with their Last Words and their Fellwinter's Lie and what have you, okay? So those are the weapons I recommend you guys go ahead and bring for your primary. I know some of those were exotics and you kind of want to use the exotic space for either your primary or your heavy, as I'll go in later. Basically, for your secondary, there's gonna be no doubt about it. Obviously, a shotgun, preferably a Found Verdict Breaker or the Fellwinter's Lie. Into the heavy. Some of you may not agree with my decision. Hey, that's okay. Opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has one, right? So for your heavy slot, I would recommend you bring something like a Corrective Measures or a Thunderlord. Now the reason I suggested the heavy machine guns is because when you get heavy ammo and you have a rocket launcher, you only get like I would say 4 shells, right? You only have enough times to fire 4 times. Now, one might say, well, if there's a cluster of them, you can shoot 1 rocket, you get like 4 of them or so, right? Guess what? That is highly unlikely, especially in the Iron Banner. People are smart and they're trying their best to win. So they're not going to be in groups, or at least not the ones that are well coordinated. You know, they're going to split up and they're going to call out if they see a rocket launcher and stuff like that. And usually well coordinated groups, they split up the heavy, so you'll have like a couple going to your heavy and the others at their heavy. So rolling with the rocket launcher is totally fine, you know, but at least have 2 or 3 people in your fire team having heavy machine guns. And this is why. I was running with a Thunderlord. Thunderlord is such an overpowered heavy machine gun. Keep in mind, this is like a 307 Thunderlord. Wasn't fully maxed out or anything. And it was taking people out in 3 or 4 or 5 bullets. You know, it was really insane. And what I was doing is, instead of capping flags, I was going around to the enemy bases and I was just taking them out one by one. It was insane. It takes people out so quick. It's absolutely amazing. And so that's why I recommend you either using corrective measures or the Thunderlord. I would highly recommend you use the Thunderlord. My setup was the Oversoul Edict, the Found Verdict, and the Thunderlord. You know, these are just my tips and tricks and what I've experienced and what's helped me grow up to a complete man. So maybe these will help you guys if you're having any troubles or any type of tribulation. These tips could help you. A lot of people use hand cannons as their primaries. That's fine too. Usually the best hand cannons are the exotic ones. Thorn is very overused as well in the Iron Banner especially, and it's really ridiculous, and those guys usually are the ones on top of everything. So guys, if this video helped you out at all, please go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to my channel for more Destiny videos similar to this one. Forza Nation now 8,100 subscribers strong. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Yeah.